Hello, mamas. Thank you for stopping by today. So, this is Baby Care by Health Afford. You've been hearing the voice, but this is probably the first time I'm doing a video showing my face. So, this is the face to the voice you always hear on Baby Care by Health Afford. So, we're going to be doing a couple of lives on this channel. We are starting lives, and quickly, I'm just going to recap why Baby Care by Health Afford was started and our goal. So the reason why I started Wicked by Health Afford was I had my baby, and I've not said this on the channel before, but I was trained as a midwife and a nurse at university level. Yes, so I went to university and I studied nursing and midwifery. And I had my baby and I realized that I was still struggling. I was still struggling. There was still a lot that I was trying to learn. There's still so many things that I really needed information, about. I needed help with, and I realized something. If I myself that is trained, I'm trained. If I need that much help, need that much information, still need that much guidance, how much more mothers who don't have that medical training, how much more they will struggle. And that is why I started Baby Care by Health Afford. So the whole idea is to help mothers, especially new mothers, with information, concerning a variety of things. If they are formula feeding, what kind of formulas can they use? Why should they use formulas? If there's breastfeeding, I have a video about breastfeeding tips. I think it's very important that mothers are supported, and that is the reason why we started the channel. So it's been over a year we started the channel, and we've had several videos. One of our most popular videos is our videos about Tom Brown, and I understand why that video blew up, because the economy is hard. If you live in Nigeria, you know that the economy is not smiling, and a lot of parents are looking for cheaper options, affordable options, not just affordable options, but nutritious options for their babies. So please hold on. Yes, so like I said earlier on, the reason why we started the channel is just to support mothers. So you can be a new mom, you can be a seasoned mom, and you realize that when you just have your baby, that you need additional information, you need support, you need to find out, oh, what diaper is good these days, or what cream can I use for baby rash that my baby has. And that's what we're doing here at Baby Care by Health Afford. Today I'll just slightly talk about baby formulas, because if you're a mom that has struggled to breastfeed exclusively, or if you're a mom that has been shamed about not being able to breastfeed exclusively, or that you're using formula, then you need to stay tuned. Now, why are formulas important? Formulas are important because not all mothers will be able to breastfeed all through. Not all of them will be able to, do exclusive breastfeeding for a number of reasons. Some person could just be inverted, maybe they have inverted nipples. It could be that they are not producing enough milk, they are not having enough nutrition to produce enough milk. And that is where formulas come in. As much as possible, I try not to preach buying formulas. I like to preach exclusive breastfeeding. But as a mom who has had experience, not just a medical person who is just, saying it, but someone who has had experience. Let's say you have like a traumatic birth experience that might impact your blood levels. If you have anemia as a mother, it would affect your breast milk. To be honest, your breast milk supply will be low, and then you still need to feed your baby. So, how do you go about it? So, some of the things that I've talked about on this channel has to do with how to pick the right baby formula. And I remember saying that if you want to pick the right baby formula, there are just some key things that you need to know. Some very key things. Number one, ask yourself, why am I not exclusively breastfeeding? What is the reason why I'm not breastfeeding exclusively? Is it that the milk is not enough, or I have a hungry baby? If you have a hungry baby, you might not be able to meet up. I remember that I had a very close friend that told me, she was crying. She said she can't meet up with how much food her baby is taking. Her baby eats so much, and sometimes her eye is turning her, no matter how she's always feeling dizzy. In Nigeria, I would say, your eye is turning you. Yes, she's always feeling dizzy because she can't meet up with how much her baby eats, and it's a baby boy. So she had to also introduce formula just to balance it up so that she herself she's able to recover, she's able to regain herself. So the first thing I always talk about in picking baby formulas is, what's your budget? What is your budget for baby formulas? Whether you like it or not, babies can finish the average 400-gram size within 3 to 4 days. Within 3 to 4 days, they can finish that baby formula. So let's say now the baby formula you are using is like SMA Gold and it's 13,000 naira. Can you afford 13,000 naira baby formula every 3 to 4 days? That means in a week you would have spent at the very least, you spend 26,000 naira. And if you are buying the 900 grams, it's about 24,000 naira. The child can take it for like a week. So can you afford 24,000 naira baby formula every single week? So you need to ask yourself that question when you want to pick a baby formula. You have to look at your pocket. And let me tell you, based on my research, there are formulas that are way, way higher than 24,000 naira for a 900-gram pack. So that's a very important thing. Number two, when you're using a baby formula, it has to, closely mimic breast milk because the baby will have healthy skin and hair if the formula is good. The baby will be growing. The baby will be growing. If the baby is not growing, you are breastfeeding, formula feeding. Let's say you're doing combination feeding, and that child is not growing. Child's hair is looking sparse and scanty. The child's skin is looking very dry. Child is looking sick despite on that formula. Then it's time for you to, see your doctor or change that particular formula. It means that formula is not working for your baby. One other thing is, if the formula is constipating your baby, you will need to change that formula. Either you change the formula or you look at how you measure it. If you go through the videos on my channel, you see where I talked about how to measure baby formula properly. So you get a spoon and like you skim off the top of the spoon of the formula before you put it in the feeding bottle. If you just heap it, you just we mother just pack it and want it to be sweet, you now pour it inside. What you've done is you might give your baby more than the necessary quantity needed, and at the, for that particular age, and at the end of the day, it will constipate the baby, and you say, oh, this formula, my baby is not pulling. But if you are measuring it and you're doing the right thing and the baby is still constipated, then it's time for you to change that baby formula. Very, very important. It's time to change that baby formula to something that your baby's digestive organs can tolerate. So after getting the right baby formula, you need to know that you have formulas that you can use. I know that peak milk, you can use their formula from 0 to 12 months. Meanwhile, things like NAN, lactogen, and SMA, they have specific periods. They have the formula from 0 to 6 months. They have formula from 6 months to 12 months. They have another formula that is from 12 months and above. Usually they call those ones toddler milk, and Those milks are not necessary. That's once your baby is a year old, you should try introducing adult milk to your baby, except your baby is reacting to adult milk. Once your baby is a year old, try and introduce adult milk to your baby so that when as they are growing, they don't become, lactose intolerant. They don't start to react to those milk. Okay, so that's it for how to choose the right baby formula. Like I said, I always explain and I always advocate that breast milk is still the best because number one, breast milk is cheaper. Once you are eating well, you produce enough breast milk to feed your baby. Another thing you need to know is breast milk is highly nutritious. It contains everything that the baby needs. Everything that the baby needs. Breast milk contains everything that the baby needs. You don't need to, start looking at any formula saying, oh, does is it close to breast milk? No. Breast milk contains everything that the babies need. Breast milk is easy to prepare. It's already in the body, so it's very, very easy to prepare. All this one off, you skim off the top, make sure you are taking the right quantity. There's nothing like that with breast milk. And then breast milk contains all the necessary protective agents that the baby will need. It helps to build the baby's immune system. Yes, because it's coming directly from the mother. It helps to build the baby's immune system so the baby is not sick. So if you have any questions for me, you can leave it in the chat. You can leave it in the chat. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the chat. You can leave it in the chat if you have any questions for me. Okay. So now let's talk about some specific baby formulas that I've used. Now I've used NAN. If you've used NAN, let us know in the comment section. If you've used NAN, what was your experience using NAN? What was your experience using NAN? How do you feel about using NAN? How was it for your baby? I remember that when I used NAN, it was, I think I used it only once or twice before I changed to something else because I really did not like the way it was on my baby's body. But I know that NAN is very good. I used SMA Gold. Uh, I used SMA Gold and it was nice. I like the look of SMA Gold on my baby's body. She was chubby, fat, her skin was looking very fresh and clean. Mind you, SMA Gold was a bit pricey, but for me, I felt it was worth it then. And I remember that when we were buying it, it was when SMA Gold was still 5,200. This was in 2023. Now SMA Gold is 13,000 naira. The difference is just too much. I don't know how parents are coping. If you are formula feeding your baby, please session. Tell us how are you doing it? How are you managing? How are parents managing these days with the price of formulas? I really don't understand. As of today, none is 11,000 naira. None is 11,000 naira as I'm talking to you today. And lactogene is 7,500. That's a lot. That's a whole lot for parents to shell out on a weekly basis. So let's talk about NAN. So NAN is actually what I used to call the mid-range formula. NAN is actually like a mid-range formula because it's in between the affordable and a bit expensive. Right now, compared to other Kendamil, Aptamil, SMA, and the rest, those very expensive formulas, NAN is 11,000 naira. So it's in between. Then you have lactogene that is at the far end of cheap, affordable formulas. If you're using NAN, that means if you use it every 3 to 4 days, you'll be spending roughly maybe 22,000 naira in a week. It's still a lot, but NAN is actually a good product. If you've used NAN before, just let us know in the comment section. What's your experience? I've only used it twice, and I will not lie to you. It was okay on the digestive system of my baby because it dissolves easily. If you put it in water, it dissolves easily. It did not constipate her at all. I just did not like. I just really did not like it. I had a very good preference for the SME, and when I started using SME does not dilute easily. You have to make sure that the water is not just lukewarm. The water is a bit hot, not boiling hot, but like hot, so that it dissolves. Then SMA baby formula is sticky. So when you're measuring it, you have to skim off the top of the measuring spoon. If not, you give your baby more than necessary, and it can cause that child to constipate. So I've talked about NAN, I've talked about SME. Okay, let me talk more about SME. So SME Gold, a lot of parents really like it because, like I said, when I used it for my baby, the baby was very chubby. Her skin was very clear and bright. It was very good. There's nobody that saw my baby then that did not ask me what I was using. Mind you, I was also breastfeeding my baby. So it was really, really good. But I had a family friend that tried it and the baby was constipated all through. And at the end of the day, they had to stop that particular formula for the baby, the SME formula, because the baby was constipated. So that's SME. Now let's talk about lactogen. I've not used lactogen before. I've not used lactogen before. But what I can tell you about lactogen is that it is one of the cheapest milk right now. It is one of the cheapest milk right now. And if you have to choose between buying a formula that is very, very expensive and buying something that you can afford, I'll say go for lactogen because at the end of the day, as long as it's actually okay for the baby is not constipated, the baby is not falling sick, then I mean, why not? Another thing again is if I were weaning my baby off breast milk, like introducing her to solids, I'll definitely go for lactogen because I remember that even when I introduced my baby to solids for my Tom Brown pap and other cereals, I was still using SME. If I was to, start solid foods at 6 months, giving my baby pap and Tom Brown, my choice of milk would definitely be lactogen because it's 7.5. It's still okay. It's not a bad milk. It's just that, especially here in Nigeria, we like expensive things. We like expensive, anything that's expensive is good to us. That's what we feel. I would say use lactogen for Tom Brown, pap, all of those things. That is, after 6 months, because then you spend less on baby milk. Remember, like I said earlier on, when we started this video, that babies will take it typically from to every 4 days or every 3 days. So it can be quite expensive to be buying 13,000 naira milk or 24,000 naira milk every three days. So what other milk? We have my boy, we have the peak milk baby formula. I've not used any of those to be sincere, but they are quite affordable. I know that the peak milk baby formula is still about 7.5 or so. My boy should be about 7,000 or 7.5 too, like lactogen. So those are the baby formulas that we can review this morning. There are many other formulas. There are many, 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 many other baby formulas. Expensive ones, very expensive ones, um, very affordable ones. Depending on what you want, actually, it depends on what you want. It depends on what you want. Okay, so I still have a few things that I want to talk about on this live. Let's talk about breastfeeding. Yes, what to eat as a breastfeeding mom. I know that the reason why a lot of mothers like to use the baby formula is because they are not producing enough breast milk or they have a baby that is very hungry and they cannot meet up with the breast milk. So this is what I would say. There are things that you can definitely eat that will increase your breast milk production. And I'm going to talk about a few of those things that you can eat that will improve breast milk production so that you're not spending so much money on formulas. Formulas are very, very expensive right now. So let's talk about things that you can eat so that you are producing a good breast milk. I wish I had some of this information when I just had my baby. The first thing is coconut. Yes, coconut flakes, um, even if it is raw, fresh coconut, it will boost your breast milk very, very fast. Very, very fast. One thing I like to do is have coconut cookies. That is cookies that have been made with maybe this sprinkled with coconut flakes or the shreds of coconut. The breast milk will just pump very, 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 very fast. Like your breast will be full within probably 30 minutes to an hour, and you'll be able to feed your baby. Another thing, of course, is tiger nuts. If you've not tried tiger nuts before for increasing breast milk, you need to try it. If you're a breastfeeding mom and you're struggling with producing enough breast milk for your baby, then you need to try tiger nuts, coconut flakes, coconut cookies. They are very, very good. They are very, very good. I've tried them before myself. One thing you should know as a breastfeeding mom is you need to take a lot of fluids. And that's why here in Nigeria, the moment you have your baby, the first thing that will be done is they will give you pepper soup. Yes, my mom will make a very, very nice pot of pepper soup. You're supposed to take it, it's supposed to heal the body, it's supposed to help with blood circulation, but more importantly, breast milk production. Why? Because the more fluids you take, breast milk is fluid, so you need a lot of fluid. You need a lot of fluid. So taking like being intentional about what you are eating when you are breastfeeding is going to help increase your breast milk production. Okay, like I said, take a lot of fluids. Take pepper soup, beverages, tea, Milo and milk, Bonvita and milk. When I had my baby, I can't even think of the number of tins of Milo and milk that I took, because you need something fast so that you can breastfeed your baby on the go, and Milo and milk will do the trick. Just make sure you always have that around. Oat milk too is very good, and there's this particular one that I'm going to say in a few minutes. When you have that one, within 10 minutes, your breast will be full and you'll be able to breastfeed your baby. We have other things, yogurt, smoothies, anything that is nutritious, leafy greens, because you want to actually make sure that your iron levels are at the highest. If you're lacking iron or you're anemic, your breast milk will definitely deplete. You will not produce enough milk because iron is needed in the production of breast milk. Now, what is that other thing that I know that will increase your breast milk very, very fast? What will increase your breast milk very, very fast is nuts. I'm not talking about the coconut or the tiger nut that I talked about earlier on. I'm talking about almonds. In Nigeria here, I think the most common things that the common nuts that you quickly see in supermarket is granuts and cashew nuts. Those two, and almonds too. You see those two. If you can get like all those packs of nuts, those nut packs, like I think there's one they call planters. That one is very good. Sometimes I'll buy that one. It's a bit pricey, but I'll buy it. It's very, very good as a breastfeeding mom. Your breast milk will just go up, it will just shoot up, and it's really, really nice. Contains roasted peanuts, cashew nuts, walnuts, like different, different things. And it's always very, very good for a breastfeeding mother. It's good to have it at hand. If you cannot buy that one, or if you don't like things like that, just buy a bottle of granite or cashew nuts, keep it close to you. You will get your energy very fast, because if you are tired or you're waiting for a meal to be prepared, you can just eat that. It will give you a lot of energy. So what is the I'm just going to take one more food that you know you can eat when one more food that you can eat. So the last one is dates. Yeah, I know that dates, when you look at dates, sometimes people say, oh, don't take dates. It can be very okay. Sorry for the Interruption. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, yes, I was talking about dates. Dates being like very, very good for breast milk production. So dates has antioxidants in it, it's very rich in a lot of nutrients and it will help increase the production of breast milk. But of course, you can't have too much of it. You can't have too much of it. Just maybe about 5 dates a day, five a day can be beneficial. It's not that you sit down and eat an entire pack of dates. Whatever you are eating goes into your breast milk. So it has a lot of calcium, potassium, B complex, magnesium, and iron. And like I said, iron is extremely important when it comes to breastfeeding your baby. So let me know what topics would you want us to discuss on our lives. I'm going to be having live videos every week, at least every week. One of the things that has made me not to, do videos like this is because I'm a mom of a toddler. I work full time, and to be honest, it's not easy shooting videos, editing videos, and that's why if you check my channel, our videos are more like tutorial style kind of videos. Our videos are more like tutorial style kind of videos. I try not to do sit down videos like this where I shoot and then I have to edit. It means I'm not bring out content. Content creation is not for the weak, but I made up my mind that I want to support a lot of moms with important information. I want to support them with what I know, not just as a mom of a toddler, but as a medical personnel. Like I said at the beginning of this life, I'm a registered nurse, registered midwife, and even with that, I struggled as a new mom. I struggled as a new mom, even with all of that. How much more people who are in the medical field. So let us know if you'd like to see more of these lives. If you've learned anything, drop a comment. Tell me what you'd like me to talk about, and I'll see you in our next video. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, mamas. Bye.